Hi, welcome to the Great Margarita Hunt. I'm Jenny and I'm on the hunt for the very best margarita in the whole world, and I'm inviting you to come with me. And today we're going to follow up from the short video that we posted a few days back, which was about our trip. We were on a cruise, we went to Mexico, and we were trying margaritas. And so we're coming back in, just like we did the last time when we were in Miami, to try out those margaritas that we had while we were on our trip back here with you on the hunt. So I'm going to tell you this again, but if you know a great place to get a margarita, please comment below and tell us about it, so you never know where the next hunt will take us. Or if you're the one that makes that great margarita, let us know that too. We'll invite you on. Show us how to make that margarita. We'd love to have that. Also, if you would go ahead and like and subscribe, it really makes a big difference for us. We're at the year mark and we are keeping track of whether or not you're enjoying these margaritas with us. So here we're going to get started. So let's look at the recipe. The first one is a tamarind margarita. This is 1.5 ounces of Blanco tequila, 1 ounce of tamarind pulp. You could also use nectar, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, and we're using a tahini rim. We're also going to use foam, and I'm going to show you that recipe as well. And so we're making a foam today with 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, 1 ounce of simple syrup, 1 egg white, and a pinch of salt. And we're going to shake that up. This should be interesting. Stay with me. You know, sometimes I have trouble with foam, so look, I'll go. And then we're also going to make a Batanga. So I'm going to do the Batanga after the tamarind, but we've shown you that recipe before, so we'll just copy that down in the description. Let's get started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rim here for this tamarind margarita. And so it's inspired by our recent trip to Cozumel, where we had a tamarindo margarita. And I'm going to put tahini. You can use any kind of chili salt. We keep using tahini, but sometimes we make it ourselves as well. So I've got my glass ready, and now I'm going to use this mixer. Now we're going to do 2 mixers this time, 2 shakers. We're going to make the margarita in this one, and then I'm going to use another one to make the foam that's going to go on the top. I'm trying to recreate what we had before. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this is the 1 ounce of the tamarind. Now again, I used pulp. You could also use nectar. The pulp is going to be a little sweeter. I know it's kind of an interesting chocolate color, and that's because it comes from those pods I showed you earlier. So you see these? These are the pods that you would make chamoy candy with and use for mangonadas, and it's like a seed. It hangs on the tree. So we're going to use the pulp that comes from that, which can also, like I said, be used for candy, to mix this up. So it's going to be more savory than just a sweet margarita. And I'm going to use this wonderful G4 Blanco. If you've never tried this, you can actually sip this stuff. This is good. It reminds me a little bit of that Don Fulano I like. It has a lovely smell. Lovely. And you can it's good enough to sip, it's good enough to drink in the margarita. That's how we're going to go forward. Okay, so I need 2 ounces, I believe, 1.5 ounces. 1.5 ounces of the Blanco. I'm going to put that in. That's 1. Other side will be 1/2. And then we're going to use a little bit of Cointreau here. That orange in the Cointreau is going to do well with the tamarind. So I'm going to have 1/2 ounce of the Cointreau. And then we're going to put in 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And simple syrup is simple. You put in 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water, and you let it dissolve on the stove. Now hopefully I can do this without spilling. I probably should have put it in a different type of glass. There we go. Oh, I got it right on. 1/2 ounce of the simple syrup, and we're going to put some lime juice in. So here we go. I've fresh squeezed limes and I strained them. So we're going to put in 1 ounce of the fresh squeezed lime juice. And when we were on our last video, it's very short. We played just a 6-minute video, but it was from our trip to Mexico. We were on a cruise ship. We went to Costa Maya and to Cozumel, and this is where we got this idea of trying a tamarind margarita. But also it was interesting about finding out those limes. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so I've got it all in here. I've got my tamarind. I just need to put some ice in here and shake it up. Okay, now I've got a lot of crushed ice in here. You know what? In fact, I didn't get a glass to get my ice out. So I've got my favorite ice right now. It's my Sonic ice. That's what I'm using. And I'm going to probably put some, actually, I think, I'm going to go ahead and put some in my glass as well. But I am going to put some foam on top of this. So I'm not going to put a lot of ice there. I just like it chilled. I definitely wanted it chilled. So it's not all that much, is it? So I'm going to put this top on. And this is that shaker that I had. See, it's not so brown now, but it does have that light color of a nut, which is what it comes from. Sometimes I feel like a nut. No, I won't do that now. Okay, so I am going to strain this. Oh, here we go. Out, because I don't want to put any more of the ice in. There we go. I'm going to strain this into my tahine rimmed glass that already has a little bit of ice in it. And now I'm going to make the foam. Now this is a little different. If you've watched our other videos, I haven't always been successful with foam. So this is my first attempt. 1 egg white, okay? 1 egg white. I already did, I put that in there earlier. 1 ounce of simple syrup this time. And I think that's the thing with this tamarind. You need the sweetness. You do, to balance that savory stuff. And 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. Can you see me squinting over there? Usually I have my recipe here in front of me, and this time I have it over on the side. So 1 ounce, again, of our fresh squeezed lime juice. So the lime juice. And we've got the 1 egg white I've already put in, and a pinch of salt. So I've got my little bit of salt over here. Salt is for that egg white. At least that's what I've been told. Okay, here we go. So all I have to do, they tell me, is just shake. So I'm going to shake it up, and this is going to make our foam. And I'm going to put the whole thing on top, and we'll see what the... Oh, I'm actually raining egg foam right now. So let's see. This one was not the best shaker for this. A Boston shaker was not the right one for this. So let's not tell anyone about this. You know, I have all these interesting experiences with you. I do. But I love trying these margaritas with you too. All right, let's see if it looks like foam yet. It does. It looks like foam. I'm going to give it just a little bit more. I mean, the tablecloth has already got it on it now anyway. So we'll go ahead. I can show you my... Okay, I can hear it shaking up. All right. I probably should have just used that battery-operated thing I have. Okay, we got foam. We've got liftoff. Here we go. We're going to... There it is. It's kind of on the top. Now, I've got another garnish. This is a tamarind candy we found. You can find other kinds. They're like straws. This one is a candied spoon, and it has the tamarind candy in it. It's flavored, and it's going to be a little spicy, a little zingy. And so I'm just going to put it in so that that flavor is coming off the spoon into my cup, and it would make it fun if you had somebody who wanted to, eat it as well as you go here. But let's go. So this is our tamarind candy, but our tamarind margarita. Ready? I'm nervous. Let's see. You know, I shouldn't be surprised that it's good, right? I'm not sure how this all quite works, but it does. I'm going to tell you that I like smelling this lime as I drink it. This is unusually balanced. You know, if you've been watching the videos, every now and then I'll say, this is an adult margarita. This is an adult margarita. It's not too sweet, although this candy, you know, the candy is really chewy, so I don't think it's going to really melt in here, but it's going to give off a little bit of that flavor. It's not too sweet. It is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I would order this. I think it's like the one. So in the video that we did last week, we were in Cozumel. We go to this place called Alberto's on accident. It's a story. Watch the video. And it looked very much like this, actually. I think we may have figured out how to reproduce this. I can recommend this. And it really wasn't that hard. You just need a better shaker so I'm not putting egg white all over the table. Here we go. I don't want to stop. I like that. I do. And this pulp that I bought is frozen. So what I would have done was just take out the amount that I wanted to use to make margaritas if I was going to make enough to share. And I would do that. It's really good. I like this. Can you tell? Okay, so I have one more margarita for you. It's not really a margarita. It's a Batanga. And we've shown this to you before, but I wanted to show this to you this time because when we were in Mexico and we call them margarita hunts. We go out on hunts. We've done this in Miami, done this in Los Angeles, Houston, of course, San Antonio, lots of different places. When we go out and we try margaritas, we'll go somewhere you recommend. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe so we know you're watching. And then comment below if you know some place that has a great margarita. So we look it up for recommendations we receive from you. We look ourselves online. People give restaurant reviews. So we go online and we find these recipes. We find recipes too, but we go online and we find these places that we want to go try a margarita. So we do that on our cruises too. We like to cruise, so go look us up at See Jenny Cruise if you haven't done that. Anyway, Cozumel, we've been to a lot of places on Cozumel. If you go to our website, thegreatmargaritahunt.com, I think it's the second tab, there's a map of all these places we've been to. Just zoom in on Cozumel. You'll see a bunch of little dots. You click on it and it'll tell you about the place. And I have some of my favorites. So this last trip, we went to 3 places. Well, Margaritaville we've been to before, but it had been a number of years. So we went to 3 places. And in Costa Maya, we went to a place called the Crazy Lobster. Shout out to the Crazy Lobster. I love that place. I'm going back too. Not too far in the future. Anyway, the point is that a lot of the places you're going to go to, like beach bars or even really fun, great places, even fun, great eating places, are not going to have a margarita that, you know, meets the quality of the G4 we have tonight. Let's just say it that way. All right? It's just not. But it's a decent margarita when you're sitting at the beach, that kind of thing. But I have found over the course of the past year with you that my taste for tequila has changed. So if I'm having what we would call like a Tommy's margarita, just straight lime juice, a little agave, tequila, I want a good tequila, or at least a better tequila than I'm going to normally get, you know, with a $6 margarita. So in January, we learned about Batangas, which is made with a Mexican Coke, and nobody did guess, why do you have to make it with a Mexican Coke? If you know, comment below. So we make this with a Mexican Coke and with tequila. Now we did it with El Tequiliano, which is a great tequila, and I don't have any of that silver right now, so I'm not doing that. But this was around Super Bowl time. A lot of people were doing the cocktail of the year is going to be the Batanga. Anyway, I'm telling you about this for a point. I might have another sip of this tamarind one here in a minute, but I'm telling you about this for a point. When we were in Mexico, we'd go some places that I was like, I love the place, but I don't love the margarita. And so I learned to make my own Batanga at the table. And I'm recommending, if you're going to be having some tequila, you don't want to mix it up with rum punch and things like that. That's not a good idea. So how can you have a cocktail? I think of it like a margarita. How can you have a cocktail without, you know, getting yourself in trouble? So the Batanga is so simple. All I did was ask for some ice and some lime juice, just like bring me a line, I could squeeze it myself. So I think our recipe calls for a quarter ounce, half ounce. You could be right around on there. Normally I just take a half of a lime and squeeze it in. That's what I usually do. But since I already have some fresh squeezed lime juice here, I'm going to put in my quarter ounce, which is half of the side. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour in my 2 ounces of Blanco tequila. Like I said, El Tequiliano would be a good choice, but I have this Lalo, and Lalo is always a good choice. So there's one. Now, when I did this video the first time, I told y'all you have to use the knife because the knife is seasoned, but I'm not doing that this time. And I told you we pour it with love. That means maybe it's a little bit more, you know, maybe it's a little bit more than the 2 ounces, but whatever seems right at the time. And then I'm going to put in, I thought today, instead of using big blocks of ice, I'm going to go ahead and use, where'd my little tongs go? Here they are. I'm going to go ahead and use a big ice cube because I thought it would help keep it from melting so much. So this may be interesting. I may have to put the other one in after I stir it. All right, so simple. Lime juice, tequila, and now we need to open the Coke. We're going to have a pinch of salt in here in a minute too. Here we go. So remember, Mexican Coke. Has to be a Mexican Coke. And then I wouldn't quite fill it up because we're going to stir it here. I might put another ice cube in there. And remember, pinch of salt. You could also salt that rim if you wanted to, which I've done that before as well. That's it. And so when you have a nice big knife, you just stir it with the knife. And this was so perfect for me because I had a little margarita. It was like, okay, I appreciated the people in the service, but that's not what I wanted to continue to drink at that particular establishment. And so I started ordering a Mexican Coke, a shot of 2 of the tequila that I wanted to drink, and then topped it off with the Coke, the Mexican Coke. And here we go. Salud. Could drink this all day. Anyone who likes a little squeeze of citrus in a kind of soda or something, you're going to like this, especially if you like Coke. All day long you can drink that. That's really good, especially the better the tequila, the better the drink. Okay, so today we have the Tamarind Margarita. I love this. It's growing up totally different, real citrusy. Not too spicy, but has some zing. And the Batanga. Perfect for making your own tequila cocktail when you're somewhere that isn't serving the margarita that you want to drink that day. I hope this was fun for you. It was fun for me. I'm going to enjoy these now. Have a great rest of your day. The hunt continues.